try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Sansamore, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Schoen back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Korn Ferry tour.
You know, the top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, you know, all four Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, you know, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on...
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Thursday night throwdown has begun as the New England Patriots and Philadelphia Eagles come to a close. The Philadelphia Eagles improved to 2-0 in preseason play, and they also are now 2-0 to the under. So are the New England Patriots, 2-0 to the under. Close football game. The Philadelphia Eagles scored a late touchdown. They went for two instead of the tie. That's why these key numbers are a little bit different in the preseason. Philadelphia Eagles get it done tonight, 14-13. Game stays under the number. The Eagles cover the number as 3-point underdogs. We like the under in this game, and we bet the under. And then I decided, you know what? I like Philadelphia. I talked about liking the Eagles in this spot. Didn't really understand the Patriots laying points, although it's not because of anything that was great about Philadelphia. Right, I think Philadelphia actually have some problems, even though they won the football game. It's one of those deals where the result really doesn't matter. It's like, how do you look? And I get it. It's the backups for the Philadelphia Eagles, but your backups are not very good. And backups end up playing in the regular season in the National Football League. Speaking of which, another day, another big injury. Matt Milano, Buffalo Bill linebacker, their best backer in pass coverage as well. And we always hear, when Milano was there, it makes such a big difference. Thing is, he's there less than a congressman is there. Like, you know, I like Milano, but at this point, he's like that Van Der Esch guy at this point on the Cowboys. It's like, you know, okay, dude, like, you know, you're a good guy. We love you. You were a hell of a football player, but, you know, you're not going to stay healthy. And is it bad luck? Is he broken down? Is he cursed? Whatever reason, it is what it is, but a big blow for the Buffalo Bills. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack tonight. We got a full house on the program. The NBA have announced their full schedule. Every team's schedule has been released, so we'll kick the tires on the NBA schedule a bit tonight, but we can tell you opening night in the National Basketball Association will be the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. On October the 22nd, the Knicks visit Boston, the defending champions, and we have the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers playing because, of course, the Lakers have to be on TV on opening night. So 2 games on opening night on the 22nd. And as far as the Christmas Day games are concerned, San Antonio Spurs, Wembanyama at MSG against the Knicks at 12 o'clock Eastern. Timberwolves at Mavericks, 2:30 Eastern. Timberwolves getting a lot of big-time television games. Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics, 5 o'clock Eastern, Christmas Day. Los Angeles Lakers at Golden State Warriors, 8 p.m. Eastern. And they wrap it up with the Denver Nuggets at Phoenix Suns on Christmas Day. The National Football League is going to be playing on Christmas Day this year as well. They've got like their cup, the NBA in-season tournament. They're calling it the NBA Cup right now. So, we can sort of fill in the blanks a little bit, but we've got bigger issues to worry about than the NBA schedule right now. But I figured, it'd be nice to know. You know what's not nice to know is to see that these clowns that run Major League Baseball reportedly weighing 6-inning requirement for starting pitchers. So pitchers already get hurt too much, and now you're going to force them to stay in the game. Like, this doesn't, I would say that this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, and there's not a chance in hell that it ever passes. But here we are right now. I never would have believed that they'd say, a pitcher has to face 3 batters. I never believed that they'd say a pitcher can only throw and try to pick somebody off twice. I never thought we'd have a clock. And, you know what I mean? So at this point, I guess there's going to be a 6-inning requirement soon. Because this is what they do. They drop these things, and then they sort of see, the public reaction to it. And it seems to be like people have bad ideas. Like, people get upset because Aaron Judge is getting walked. So they want to change the rules. Or hitters should be punished more. We live in a crazy time right now in which people have never been stupider, yet have never had more control of things and think they're smart. Right? It's actually a problem. Right? We've got problems right now. But yeah, like if this was April Fool's Day, you'd think I'm talking about April Fools here. Yeah, Major League Baseball reportedly weighing 6-inning requirement for starting pitchers. Starting pitchers would have to go 6 innings unless they threw 100 pitches, they gave up 4 or more earned runs, or they got injured. And to prove that they're not injured, you'd have to go on the injured list after. So you could prove, my arm doesn't feel good, but the umpire doesn't believe you. What the F? Like I said, if this was April Fool's, I think you're punking me and clowning me. But considering what these clowns that run Major League Baseball, and Theo Epstein's the one in charge of all these rule changes, I don't know. Look at all the stupidity they've already come up with. So it looks like they're probably going to do this as well. Speaking of stupidity, I want to congratulate the New York Mets for remaining consistent in your stupidity. All right, so this Hawktua girl has become like an internet, craze. All right, I get it. Everybody in today's society, we all have our 15 seconds of fame. But I understand, this Hawktua girl cashing in. And, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened in her life and ever will happen in her life. It's ridiculously stupid, but so is society. But I understand, the Hawktua girl getting invited to, a nightclub, a beach party, a wet T-shirt contest. What I don't understand is how the New York Mets thought it would be a good idea to invite this girl to throw out the first pitch, with kids there. And, so she's not a celebrity, so what are you going to do when little Timmy asks you, who is this girl? What is she famous for? Well, Timmy, I'll tell you what she's famous for. Are we kidding me? I would say if I was Rob Manfred, I'd have to tell Major League Baseball, teams, hey, listen, let's back off on internet sensations. And, if just in case you're considering it, try not to have any porn stars throw out the first pitch. Okay. I guess this is a step up, though. They did bring Tekashi 6ix9ine in once to hang out with Mr. Met. I'm telling you, the Mets are incredibly consistent with this. And I don't want to be that guy and be, Abraham Simpson and say, how dare you? There are kids there. What about the children? But seriously, what is this girl famous for? Like honestly. And the only reason she's famous is because she has no talent, and neither does anybody in society, so they relate to her. So, other than that, and, I don't even, this is a family program. I have much more respect for children than the New York Met organization does. So, by the way, the Mets lost. And I got to be honest, too, just quickly on this. First pitch is kind of a loose term. If you'll notice, no one from the Mets caught the ball. It was like her friend, and it almost looked like they jumped on the field or something. I'm like, I don't know, did the Mets approve of this? If I was the Mets, I'd sort of say after, hey, listen, I don't even know how she got on the field. We just figured, all right, we didn't want to tackle her. But, never a dull day in New York, as they say, as the saying goes. Only in New York. Only in New York. So we got Major League Baseball to break down. NFL football, CFL football, USA men's soccer have their guy. As we told you, the Philadelphia Eagles are now 2-0 in the preseason, a 14-13 win over the New England Patriots. The game stays under the number. Meanwhile, we've got a track meet going on right now in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. CFL football. Jeremiah Masoli is back, former Ole Miss Rebel quarterback. He was with the Ducks, too. He was with a couple of programs, Masoli. He's back. 15-14 Stamps right now. Let's roll.
This property runs this community. A lot of people from this community work here. They're proud of this. This has got a lot of history here. And then when you think about the beauty with the hills, the mountains, the trees, the water.
One thing about this place is one of the words he kept saying, family. It's a place that when my family and everyone comes, they treat you like family. They treat you like you're one of their own. And it's, obviously when you look at the place, you look at the rooms, everything, it's like taking a step back in time. And I think that's an absolutely amazing place to be able to put your phone down and slow everything down. I mean, the world these days is so fast. Everything has to get done so quickly. And every time I've come here with my family at Greenbrier, it's like everything stops and it's slow motion. You actually get to enjoy life, enjoy your time with family.
Just this place feels like I'm a kid again. You get out here and you see nature, you see the trails, you see going on a hike. I grew up in Fresno. We go up to the mountains every once in a while, and that's just kind of what it feels like a little bit. Obviously, it's more forested here and whatnot, but the 58, I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of semi-blacked out, you can kind of say. It was one of those moments where the last 4 holes, I was obviously trying to win a tournament, but it started to rain, and I just kept focusing on my game. I didn't get outside of this bubble that I created with myself. I just wanted to focus on hitting the next best shot. And I think that's what really pushed me on to focusing on obviously winning the tournament, but to shoot in the 50s and then ultimately make the 40-footer on the last hole for 58. That was just the cherry on top. And what a special moment, a special place in my heart forever, and probably one of the most special moments in my entire life.
The Thursday Night Throwdown continues. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The NFL football game has just ended a couple of minutes ago, and the Philadelphia Eagles won the game 14-13. Although if I was the Eagles, and we cashed the ticket, Eagles +3, and we cashed the ticket, Eagles-Patriots under 34 tonight, continue to slay the preseason. But as far as Philadelphia Eagles are concerned, I know they don't care, and they're playing their backups, but they've got offensive line issues. Anybody that watched the game tonight, Kenny Pickett's running for his life. Kenny Pickett doesn't appear to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I get it. He's with the backups, but it's just the offense. And I know you can say this about a lot of teams if the quarterback gets hurt, but quarterbacks do get hurt. Players get hurt. Depth matters. I just don't like this camp that I'm seeing from the Philadelphia Eagles. I know it's just a preseason game. They look good in the scrimmage this week against the Patriots, but they get the Green Bay Packers in that first game in Brazil on the Friday night, which is very unique. And speaking of unique, it looks like we're going to have a single point here in the CFL game. And speaking of unique, Mick Ossie's in the house tonight with us. So is Cam Stewart, Mr. Unique himself, Mick Ossie. What's going on, Mick?
Well, that's actually, I'll take that as a compliment and hope you guys are doing
You've been called worse.
You've been called worse. Yeah, it's a compliment.
Then unique?
Yeah,
I've been called unique. I'll take it. But good to see you, Mick. How you doing tonight?
Good. I hope you are doing okay and hope you're okay with no beach volleyball on TV anymore. Just a bit worried about you guys. Hope you're okay with Olympics withdrawals. We've got NFL, CFL, AFL. It's all happening, right?
The cycle of sports continues. My Olympic withdrawals have died down now with the anticipation of college football, the Circa Survivor, the contest, the dreams of becoming a millionaire, and crushing the book that everybody always has before the start of a season. It's been a crazy week in the CFL as well, and we got a fun football game going on right now. But speaking of the Olympics, Mick, they had breakdancing in the Olympics, and the men's breakdancing was awesome. Phil Wizard won the gold medal, plus 250. He was badass. The dude from the Netherlands was great. The Victor dude from the U.S. was awesome. And most of the women were good, but it got overshadowed by your Australian countrywoman here, Ray Gunn, who's a complete disgrace to society. And I don't want to be too harsh, but if anybody reads the whole scam and how she actually got there, it was a mockery. And now she does a video today telling people, please respect my privacy and stop talking bad about me. And it's like, girl, you just trolled the world and hustled your way into the Olympics, and you're freaked out that people mock you and come at you for it after? She's a disgrace. And as regular viewer, Ryan Hainzer and friend of the program Hainzer said on Twitter today, I blame Mick Ossie. He should be ashamed. That's the tweet. He said Mick Ossie should be ashamed of Ray Gunn. You should be ashamed, Mick.
Ray Gunn.
And people are like, she got breakdancing canceled. It wasn't going to be in the next Olympics. It was only in this one. But it'll probably be back, actually. It was pretty cool. But she sucks, Mick. And I guess she's like a celebrity. She's a dancer or whatever in Australia. She's on the Australian Dancing with the Stars. She's not an athlete. She's not some you know what I mean? She made a mockery of it, bro, and she made a mockery of the other breakdancers. That's what makes me irate, because they were all really good, and now she has the audacity to make the cry about her privacy.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was listening to a really good sports business podcast in Australia, and they reckon she's going to get speaking gigs at conferences to show how well you can sell yourself.
What a joke.
But
that's what I'm saying. And she was so smug in the video she did, too. She's like, leave me alone. And she goes, I'm going to Europe for a few weeks to decompress on vacation. It's like, just shut up, all right? Like I said, I never attack athletes, but today I'm like, man, I don't like this girl. Like, this girl's really starting to get under my skin.
True.
She's the Eddie the Eagle of the Olympics. I remember Eddie the Eagle.
Don't compare Eddie the Eagle to her. He actually worked on it, went down the ramp, was a legitimate human being. That's a horrible. No, Mick, come on.
Somebody, that's a fair.
No,
and people have brought that up and said, why is everyone attacking her? And we made a hero out of Eddie the Eagle. Well, number one, Eddie the Eagle was a cool dude with big thick glasses. And he looked like the dude from the Trailer Park Boys. That's who he looked like.
Bubbles?
Yeah. He looked like Bubbles on a helmet on. They were like, who the hell is it? Like, dude, what are you doing here? This is an Olympic meet. But the thing with Eddie the Eagle, he got the Olympic rules changed. There's a difference. Nobody showed up to the British trials. Not one person. That's how he pulled it off. Nobody showed up, Mick. So he's the only one that goes down. And he's like, I'm going to represent England, Great Britain. And in those days, they didn't have like the qualification, like the rules around it. They were like, well, he's representing Great Britain. Yeah. And the difference was, though, with Eddie the Eagle, that son of a gun was risking his life. Like, he was going down, flying through the air.
He actually did it, right?
Yes. It's like, and it was funny because he was Eddie the Eagle flying through the air. This guy looked scared, like flying through the air. Ray Gun showed up and was like, doing poses.
Exactly, Gabe. Yeah.
Like robot stuff. It was like, listen, I would have pulled her off. I would have been like, stop the event. Like, you're eliminated. I would have been like, you're eliminated. You're out. You're gone.
That'd be
I would have kicked her out of the village.
Like the old days, you come out with the hook, just take her right off.
I just want to crank the music so loud and louder, like just until it's like, all right, you're done. It's over.
Yeah.
She got 0 points. I like how she goes, you don't get points in this. Like, you wouldn't have if you did.
Yeah, and then her mom was talking about originality and everyone should be ashamed. It's like, shut up. Like, just relax, man. Like, it's just, the whole thing was an absolute scam and ridiculous. I'm with you, Gabe. Joke.
It's really too bad because, in my opinion, Mick, she completely tainted all of Australia's great accomplishments in the Olympics. And it's all this it'll be remembered for.
Yeah.
No, I know that she's getting it in Australia too. She's getting it at home. She's getting it everywhere. They're mad because in Australia. They're like, you embarrassed us. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
This property runs this community. A lot of people from this community work here. They're proud of this. This has got a lot of history here. And then when you think about the beauty with the hills, the mountains, the trees, the water.
One thing about this place is one of the words he kept saying, family. It's a place that when my family and everyone comes, they treat you like family. They treat you like you're one of their own. And it's, obviously when you look at the place, you look at the rooms, everything, it's like taking a step back in time. And I think that's an absolutely amazing place to be able to put your phone down and slow everything down. I mean, the world these days is so fast. Everything has to get done so quickly. And every time I've come here with my family at Greenbrier, it's like everything stops and it's slow motion. You actually get to enjoy life, enjoy your time with family.
Just this place feels like I'm a kid again. You get out here and you see nature, you see the trails, you see going on a hike. I grew up in Fresno. We go up to the mountains every once in a while, and that's just kind of what it feels like a little bit. And obviously it's more forested here and whatnot, but the 58, I don't know how to explain it, just kind of semi-blacked out, you can kind of say. It was one of those moments where the last 4 holes, I was obviously trying to win a tournament, but it started to rain, and I just kept focusing on my game. I didn't get outside of this bubble that I created with myself. I just wanted to focus on hitting the next best shot. And I think that's what really pushed me on to focusing on, obviously winning the tournament, but to shoot in the 50s and then ultimately make the 40-foot on the last hole for 58. That was just the cherry on top. And what a special moment, a special place in my heart forever, and probably one of the most special moments in my entire life.
Shout out to our boy Goldster in the SportsGrid TV chat right now, watching on X, Twitter X. Says, reminds them of the old school get off my lawn rants. I could go deeper, but we'll get to the games. Speaking of which, so it's 14-13 in the NFL game. That game's done. We got a CFL game going on. It's a freaking track meet. Ottawa have just scored a late touchdown in the first half here to take a 21-16 lead. Calgary been up all game, but it's been not up. They've been sort of back and forth, but it was, 14-13, 15, whatever. finally, Ottawa just sort of broke it open again. So it's 21-16 right now. We've got 37 points put up on the board in the first half. And the total closed at 49.5. The Calgary Stampeders close as 3-point favorites. I'm on the Calgary Stampeders. I'm on the over in the football game. I got the Stampeders tees to the over, and I jumped in on an in-game over 60.5. And looking right now, it is 58.5 as we're going to go into the locker room now. 58.5, Ottawa minus 2.5. Stampeders are plus 130 on the money line right now. And Mick, I know you hate this football team, but one thing about this team is they're undefeated at home, and every game they're pretty much losing at the half. Like I said last night, they've been booed off the field in like 2 of the 4 home games they played at the half and come back dramatically after. Seems like they got them right where they want them, actually. Like, I still expect Calgary to win this football game, but Masoli's looked good, Mick. I'm impressed. He's looked a little bit better than I thought he was going to tonight.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him. I mean, he was back up at the Tiger Cats for, I reckon, 4 or 5 years. Learnt the craft of the CFL. Couple of horrific injuries. The last one when they took him out was dirty. So got to pull for Masoli. Always a fan. It just shows how tough it can be as a quarterback in the CFL because he did his time many years as backup. So I hope the Red Blacks win, and I hope the Stampeders get their first loss at home, of course.
Cam, you said last night you liked Ottawa and the under.
Under, yeah.
So the under's in trouble right now, but Ottawa plus 3 is in a pretty good spot. Like we said last night, I was expecting sort of a 1 or 2 point game. I got a piece of the money line and stuff in this game. It came down to minus 160. I'm expecting points in this game, guys. Like the total's 58.5 right now. I would bet the over. I got over 60.5, and I'm not panicked. This game's going to get wild in the second half. And like I said, Calgary are a very good second half team. So what's your pick, Cam, for this game? You're sticking with Ottawa?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Ottawa. I got a good number, too, before it went down to 3. But you're right, Morency. I wish I followed the over in this game. I thought it was going to be defensive. I thought Masoli would do more dinking and dunking. But, the offenses have been good. And to what you guys said, I like Masoli a lot. He's been grinding. He's, instead of taking sacks, he's getting the ball out there. Ottawa's, this is a big game for Ottawa to give the Stamps if they can give them their first loss at home. And Ottawa's got a good run game, return game, run game, and I like the way they're managing the game right now. You're right, though, Gabe. Stampeders are a second-half team, but I'll stay firm with Ottawa. I have them on the money line, but my under bet's basically dead.
So injuries are really taking a toll of the CFL right now, and we're like at the halfway point, little past the halfway point. If you think teams are like falling apart. Like, I don't know how they're going to make it. Like, they got to play like another half of the season, then the playoffs. I'm telling you, the NFL, man, going on to 18 games, big mistake. There's too much football. But the injuries just continue to rack up. And, Mick, Edmonton finally get it going. They're finally not stupid enough, and they start Trey Ford at all. What a surprise. When Trey Ford plays, we win. They play Trey Ford. He gets hurt. And I know it was he was trying to play, and they were hoping he was going to be able to play this week, but it sounds like it's Bethel Thompson in this game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who are also going with a backup quarterback. But are people starting to get a little bit more hyped about the Elks right now that they've won a couple of games?
Oh, absolutely. That was their first win at home for a long time. Even when Bethel Thompson came in, Trey Ford got the good lead, 19-10, I believe. Yeah, he's done his ribs. He didn't practice much this week, so they reckon he's out. But big news today, I knew about it 2.5 weeks ago. Elks have got a new owner, Larry Thompson. He sold his oil and gas construction business for $800 million a year or two ago. So he's a season ticket holder and a new owner at the Elks, which is, I suppose it's good news because they've been losing lots of money with stupid decisions.
Man, he's got some deep pockets, $800 million. And owning the Edmonton Elks is pocket change for him. That's like, yeah, all right.
Basically nothing. What do you want to own? Yeah, I'll own a CFL team. Thanks.
No, I know he's a lifelong season ticket holder, and he loves the team, and he doesn't like seeing the way it is, so he stepped up and said, I'm going to change this. I would keep the name. I know there's talk about the name. The league won't allow it. It's stupid. Just give it up. The Elks is a fine name.
This property runs this community. A lot of people from this community work here. They're proud of this. This has got a lot of history here. And then when you think about the beauty with the hills, the mountains, the trees, the water.
One thing about this place is one of the words he kept saying, family. It's a place that when my family and everyone comes, they treat you like family. They treat you like you're one of their own. And it's, obviously when you look at the place, you look at the rooms, everything, it's like taking a step back in time. And I think that's an absolutely amazing place to be able to put your phone down and slow everything down. I mean, the world these days is so fast. Everything has to get done so quickly. And every time I've come here with my family at Greenbrier, it's like everything stops and it's slow motion. You actually get to enjoy life, enjoy your time with family.
Just this place feels like I'm a kid again. You get out here and you see nature, you see the trails, you see going on a hike. I grew up in Fresno. We go up to the mountains every once in a while, and that's just kind of what it feels like a little bit. Obviously, it's more forested here and whatnot, but the 58, I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of semi-blacked out, you can kind of say. It was one of those moments where the last 4 holes, I was obviously trying to win a tournament, but it started to rain, and I just kept focusing on my game. I didn't get outside of this bubble that I created with myself. I just wanted to focus on hitting the next best shot. And I think that's what really pushed me on to focusing on obviously winning the tournament, but to shoot in the 50s and then ultimately make the 40-footer on the last hole for 58. That was just the cherry on top. And what a special moment, a special place in my heart forever, and probably one of the most special moments in my entire life.
This is SportsRage, Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. Mick Aussie, Cam Stewart in the house with us. We're at the half of the CFL football game right now, 21-16 for the Ottawa Red Blacks. And we talked about the total being 58.5. It's been bumped up to 59.5. I think this is going to open up. We've got 37 points right now. I would expect there to be like 24 or more. Calgary are a better second-half team. If you look at, like, their track record, they're good at when they sort of, like, pick up the pace and they stop playing around. They hit a wall. They were moving the ball with ease early in the football game, but they only scored 2 singles in the second quarter. But I was talking about injuries, and the Montreal Alouettes have been unbelievable. They're 16-1 straight up in their last 17 games. They've been freaking dominant. I think they're, like, 15-2 against the spread during this run, including a championship. But I talked about injuries, and now they got Tyson Philpott out on the injured list for the next 6 weeks. He's like their best player. So it's one thing not to have your quarterback, but you've got your receiver still. Now you've got a rookie quarterback, and you've got you lost your stud receiver that he relies on. I'm not saying, the Alouettes have been so resilient, and they just sort of next man up, and they just do their thing. But, man, they're in a bad spot right now without Philpott. And they were the only team, like they were winning without Fajardo. They lost other wide receivers, the Alouettes. And it finally caught up to them where I think this is just too much now. So now, like, the Alouettes are almost like the BC Lions were a couple of weeks ago, where it's like we're having a hard time, like, fielding a team. We have so many people that are hurt right now. Tough spot tomorrow for Montreal in Saskatchewan. Mick, what's your pick tomorrow?
Well, yeah, and the Riders have got Trevor Harris back, Alouette back, the running back, and Thurman, the linebacker. And a couple of lads I was listening to today, they went for Riders outright to win. I hope they're wrong. I hope the Alouettes do get back. But I think I heard that Cody Fajardo might be starting back in his old town of Regina. So that'll be interesting. Hope the Alouettes, but yeah, probably the Riders with those good players coming back and the Alouettes injuries, as you said.
I think he wants to play, but I don't know if they're gonna. Supposedly, he could have played last week as well, but the Alouettes aren't dumb. It's a long season. We're only at the halfway mark, and they've only lost 1 game. So the official status right now is he's listed as the backup for this football game. And the plan is that he will be in uniform, but he will not be the starting quarterback. So it sounds like emergency type of purposes only, or they just sort of want to ease him back in here, let him stand on the sidelines in uniform and get used to things again. But I don't like going against the Alouettes, but I'm starting to buy in. It is a pretty tough spot for them. I'm not going to lock in my bet right now, but tough spot for them. I want to dig deeper into the Alouette injury situation. Cam, what's your pick right now?
I'm with Mick. I like Saskatchewan in this game. I'm actually surprised they're getting to it home. It is a bad spot for Montreal, but great point you bring up, Gabe. They're the most resilient team in the league. But I just think, I exactly what you said. It catches up with them this week. Saskatchewan played a very tight game with Montreal where they had a big lead. Montreal came back. Good spot for Saskatchewan. They're getting 2. I'll take the 2, and I like them on the money line, plus 115. Not sure about the total.
So, Mick, what do you think of the Edmonton Elk game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats? Can they make it 3 in a row?
I think they can. I mean, the locker room wants Trey Ford playing, but Bethel Thompson, he was okay. He's not the big problem. Their defense is very average. I think it's ranked the last. But Tiger Cats, I mean, the bench Bo, Levi, Jeans, Mitchell, I think Powell's coming in, so they're not going too well either. They did beat us easily here a few weeks ago. I think the Elks can win over there just because the Tiger Cats are not that good, and I hope so. 3 in a row, win a couple more, and you're not out of it in the CFL, as you know.
No, it's really too bad. If Trey Ford was playing, I'd really be in. I'd be like, I'd take Edmonton. Now it's sort of that toss-up, but Hamilton do seem to be just sort of that flat team this year that they're not going to turn the corner. And like you said, Mick, everyone, knows, okay, Trey Ford's going to be the guy. We get it. I think if you're Hamilton and you're a Tiger Cat player, you're like, Powell's not the answer for us. Like, he's not better than Bo Levi is, even though Bo Levi hasn't been perfect this year. It's a desperation move. Like I said, I wouldn't imagine that the Tiger Cat players are overly excited about this. Powell can't throw the ball anywhere near as well as Bo Levi Mitchell can. And like I said, it wasn't all his fault, the Ticats. Their defense sucks, too. Mm-hmm. So it's like blame the quarterback season going on right now in the CFL. What's your pick, Cam, for Hamilton and Edmonton?
Me and Mick are reading each other's mail. I'm taking Edmonton in this spot. Bethel Thompson being a former Argo. He's seen the Tiger Cats a lot in his life. Tiger Cats, Gabe, to your point, they start 6 rookies on the defensive side of the ball. CFL's a hard game to learn. They haven't really figured out. Their special teams is god-awful. Was there like big returns against these guys? They give up chunk yardage. This is a big spot for Edmonton. As Mick said, they win this game. They can go on a little bit of a heater. Even with Bethel Thompson, I like the Elks to win. Revenge spot as well.
Man, this is one of those games. Listen, there's only 4 games a week in the CFL, and I honestly think I've bet all 4 games in the CFL for the last 30-plus years. Like I said, this is one of those. This is like betting on a Rockies Angels baseball game, Rockies A's game. It's like it's an Edmonton Elk, Hamilton Tiger Cat game on a Saturday night. It's like, listen, if you're betting on it, you tell anybody before you listen. Anything can happen in this game. It might be 30-30. It might be 6-6. It might be a blowout. It might be a tie. Just say we don't know. It could be could go a lot of different ways this game.
It can. Yeah, this is the game you don't want your crazy reason. Yeah.
No.
It's let's go.
But for some crazy reason, if it was, I'd be like, all right, give me the Ticats. I'm going to just pray
and
hope
over,
for the best
Dave?
here, that they win on the last second field goal. I think Hamilton somehow wins. They finally have their little moment where the fans go home happy.
Didn't they have their moment against the Argos? They had a 17-point lead.
I don't trust Bethel Thompson.
Yeah, he's a hard guy to trust. He is a hard guy to trust.
I don't love the game, but so Mick's going to be going to the game on Saturday night, and I'm going to be going to the game on Sunday. BC Lions and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's going to be a big deal as Nate Rourke has returned to the CFL. It's funny. We told you the other night, and it was 3.5. The Bombers were favored by 3.5 before the signing. BC, Vernon Adams is out, so they had Dolagala playing, and they were no good. So Winnipeg were 3.5-point favorites. Now BC are 2.5-point favorites. So it's been a 5-point swing. And remember, I said, man, this thing's going to close at 3.5 or something. People are just going to keep on betting BC in this game. Mick, what do you think of Nate Rourke's return to the CFL? Are you fired up? Good for the league.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's a star. He didn't play that much, but sitting behind Mike Riley for that year, he got so many reps because Mike Riley was hurt. That's why he came in that first year, played so well, got injured. But didn't they muck him around in the NFL? Like the Giants signed him and didn't even give him hardly a rep. Then at the Falcons, he didn't play that well, but he's thrown to receivers who didn't know who he was. So I'm glad he's back. You can't stay down there forever and get mucked around. But his younger brother, apparently the NFL are looking at him too. So interesting family. Hope there's a big crowd there. Hope he's not rusty. Hope he has a big game, and hope the BC Lions destroy the Bombers because they're in trouble at 3-6, not going too well. Hope the Lions win, and I think they will actually.
You know, his brother Curtis Rourke was also the quarterback of the Ohio Bobcats, except Curtis Rourke is higher regarded by NFL people than his brother Nate is. Nate's not a big guy, right? It was like 6 feet type thing. They might list him 6, so I think he's like 6 feet. He's not like this super big athletic guy. He's just a smart quarterback. Sort of Drew Brees-ish, actually. Yeah, kind of think about it. He's sort of got that dodging, right? You know what I mean? Sighting, whatever. He's got that thing going for him. But Curtis Rourke, his brother, guys, he was so good. Like, Nate played at Ohio for 4 years. His brother played at Ohio for 2 years and just transferred to the Big Ten. So Curtis Rourke's going to be the quarterback of the Indiana Hoosiers. 6'5", 235 pounds.
This property runs this community. A lot of people from this community work here. They're proud of this. This has got a lot of history here. And then when you think about the beauty with the hills, the mountains, the trees, the water.
One thing about this place is one of the words he kept saying, family. It's a place that when my family and everyone comes, they treat you like family. They treat you like you're one of their own. And it's, you know, obviously when you look at the place, you look at the rooms, everything, it's like taking a step back in time. And I think that's an absolutely amazing place to be able to put your phone down and slow everything down. I mean, the world these days is so fast. Everything has to get done so quickly. And every time I've come here with my family at Greenbrier, it's like everything stops and it's slow motion. You actually get to enjoy life, enjoy your time with family.
Just this place feels like I'm a kid again. You get out here and you see nature, you see the trails, you see going on a hike. I grew up in Fresno. We'd go up to the mountains every once in a while, and that's just kind of what it feels like a little bit. Obviously, it's more forested here and whatnot, but the 58, I don't know how to explain it, just kind of semi-blacked out, you can kind of say. It was one of those moments where the last 4 holes, I was obviously trying to win a tournament, but it started to rain, and I just kept focusing on my game. You know, I didn't get outside of this bubble that I created with myself. I just wanted to focus on hitting the next best shot. And I think that's what really pushed me on to focusing on, obviously winning the tournament, but to shoot in the 50s and then ultimately make the 40-foot on the last hole for 58. That was just the cherry on top. And what a special moment, a special place in my heart forever, and probably one of the most special moments in my entire life.
The Thursday Night Throwdown continues. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Our boy Mick Aussie is a Denver Bronco fan. Denver Broncos look good in week 1 of the preseason. The quarterback rotation that we thought was a great preseason rotation did put up 34 points, which is a lot for a preseason game. And now the Denver Broncos host the Green Bay Packers on Sunday night. And the Denver Broncos are 7-point favorites in this game. Now, listen, Mick, it's only the preseason, but you've got to take each step as it comes. You know what I'm saying? You're rebuilding this football team, and last year was not a positive place, right? With the bashing of Russell Wilson and the locker room was split. And like this year, it at least seems early in the Denver camp that everybody's on the same page right now.
Yeah, well, I was listening to the Stink Man, Mark Solera, today, and he was very impressed with the quarterback room. And he seems to think that the Cougar hunker, Zach Wilson, will be good there at the Broncos. Because as we know at the Jets, they don't even train them. They put them straight in, ruin quarterbacks, the rookies. So let's hope Zach Wilson can come good and there might be a decent competition. Bo Nix, of course, probably starting. But they were very impressed with Troy Franklin, a wide receiver from the Oregon Ducks. And apparently hardly any injuries at Broncos camp as well. So, yeah, they might be on the up, which will be good because we've been absolutely terrible since that Super Bowl 50 win.
Yeah, each step, one step at a time. For the record, Ottawa are moving to football right now on the Calgary Stampeders, 21-16, 12 and a half left in the third quarter of play. All right, Mick, so AFL, what round are we into? What week are we going into right now in the AFL?
Yep, 2 rounds left, so round 23, and it's been really exciting. About 14 teams could have made the finals. Hawks, Cam's team, are in the 8 after starting 0-5 or 0-6.
What a run.
2 weeks left. I think the 8 will stay as it is, but very interesting and some tough games. And last week there was so many upsets, it was unbelievable. But your Eagles are doing well. 2 wins in a row, and they come up against the injury-plagued Carlton, who were second a few weeks ago. Now they're in ninth position. I actually think your Eagles might win at home, and then the interim coach, might keep his job.
Yeah, they've won 5 games. Let's not get carried away. They are 5-16. But I know what you mean. It's baby steps, right? They won 2 games last year. So it's like, okay, we're climbing back up. But Mick called it years ago, actually. After they won, they went completely young, like really young. And they've been getting beat up for a couple of years. But like you said, Mick, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel is coming. Like, I think next year they'll be, they'll be much better next year again. And then like 2 years old. They're like 2 years away right now, this team. But so like Mick said, there's still a battle, though. So the Hawthorne Hawks hanging on 8th place right now. They got 48 points. Carleton's got 48. The Bombers got 46. Essendon, Collingwood's got 44. They're kind of running out of racetrack here. But Carleton and Essendon still in this thing right now. And we got Essendon and the Sydney Swans tonight. Mick, this is a must-win for the Bombers tonight. Plus 3.5 points. They need to win this game.
Yeah, interesting game. I don't think they will. Sydney lost one of their best players, but Sydney was so far in first position, and they've been terrible lately, but they did have a win last week against Collingwood. Take the Swans to win. I just don't trust the Bombers at all. They're flaky, and they let their fans down this time every year. Swans, I think, even though it's in Melbourne.
Thinking about those the Sydney Swans letting me down before as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Swans want to wrap this up. Port Adelaide are only 4 points back. Gold Coast and Melbourne. Gold Coast and Melbourne. This game is not an impactful game as far as the playoff push is concerned. Great Western Sydney and Fremantle. Collingwood, they're in a must-win situation against Brisbane, Mick. What do you think of that one? The Magpies, plus 10.5 points.
Look, I think Brisbane will get it done. Magpies, the reigning premiers, too many injuries, and they celebrated the premiership too much last year and got off to a slow start. Lions had a heap of injuries early in the year, ACL's out, but they've been very good lately. But they lost last week at home. Lions want to keep and get that second position. So I think the Lions will win and the Collingwood Magpies will be done and all their fans around Australia will be crying, mate, and I hope so.
Man, the Ottawa Red Blacks are about to score again.
They are.
It's 21-16, and they're on the goal line. It's second and goal. So, like, they're about to punch this thing in.
looks good. But Ottawa looks good, Gabe. This is very impressive on the road, too. Let's give Masoli full marks here in this game, too. That last play that he made, good on him, man. He's been through the ringer.
Ottawa as a whole has played well tonight. They've been dominating since the end of the start of the second quarter. They won the second quarter 8-2, and they're about to punch it in here right now. Here's a second and goal. I'm not sure if he got in. Yeah, Dustin Crum with the touchdown scramble. So we got some points here, and now Calgary, you got to do your thing. You guys are undefeated at home. You're always trailing by double digits, it seems, at home, and you always come back and somehow win the game. A lot of football left in this game. 9:43 left, 27-16. So, Mick, what are your best bets in the AFL this week? I asked you about the important games, but what are your best bets?
All right, well, let's take the Cats to win easily over the Saints by more than 9.5. Big game, the showdown. The two Adelaide teams. Port Adelaide are favoured by 13.5. Crows have got their edge on them, but injuries. Take the Crows on the plus and maybe win. Also, the Giants, the Greater Western Sydney Giants, they should get it done against the Fremantle Dockers. Dockers have got some injuries. Take the Giants on the minus. And I think your Eagles might win as well. So there's 4 or 5.
Mick Aussie, great stuff, Mick. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Enjoy the CFL games.
All right, have a great weekend, guys.
You too, Mick.
Mick Aussie in the house with some AFL picks. I was looking at that Geelong Cat game, actually. Not too bad on the money line, actually. Minus 186. Nice parlay material.
This property runs this community. A lot of people from this community work here. They're proud of this. This has got a lot of history here. And then when you think about the beauty with the hills, the mountains, the trees, the water.
One thing about this place is one of the words he kept saying, family. It's a place that when my family and everyone comes, they treat you like family. They treat you like you're one of their own. And it's, obviously when you look at the place, you look at the rooms, everything, it's like taking a step back in time. And I think that's an absolutely amazing place to be able to put your phone down and slow everything down. I mean, the world these days is so fast. Everything has to get done so quickly. And every time I've come here with my family at Greenbrier, it's like everything stops and it's slow motion. You actually get to enjoy life, enjoy your time with family.
Just this place feels like I'm a kid again. You get out here and you see nature, you see the trails, you see going on a hike. I grew up in Fresno. We go up to the mountains every once in a while, and that's just kind of what it feels like a little bit. Obviously, it's more forested here and whatnot, but the 58, I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of semi-blacked out, you can kind of say. It was one of those moments where the last 4 holes, I was obviously trying to win a tournament, but it started to rain, and I just kept focusing on my game. I didn't get outside of this bubble that I created with myself. I just wanted to focus on hitting the next best shot. And I think that's what really pushed me on to focusing on, obviously winning the tournament, but to shoot in the 50s and then ultimately make the 40-foot on the last hole for 58. That was just the cherry on top. And what a special moment, a special place in my heart forever, and probably one of the most special moments in my entire life.
All right, we're here to bet. So I got a couple in-game bets for you now that the Ottawa Red Blacks are up 28-16. So they're up by 12 points. Still a lot of time left. It's like 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter of play. As we've discussed, Calgary have been down. They were down like 24-0 in one of these games, or 24-2 or something, like 23-6. They've been down a lot at home this year and have managed to come back and win. Last week they came back and covered the point spread somehow. They were losing all game and they ended up kicking a field goal with like 10 seconds left to win by 4, and the spread was 3.5. So they've been good at coming back. You're getting 8.5 points with them right now. I'm going to take the Calgary Stampeders plus 8.5 points, down 12. They have the football at midfield right now. And I'm already in on a bunch of overs here, but I still think it's going to go over to 61.5, and I just played it. So give me the Calgary Stampeders plus 8.5 and over 61.5 in this game. Any in-game action for you, Cam?
Nah, I'm gonna let it ride. I got a bad number. I want to take the over, Gabe, but my total's screwed. I was hoping it was going to slow down a little bit and then take the over, but 61.5. I don't want to lose two bets here like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I got to hand it to you what you said. Calgary, on the other hand, they scored 21 unanswered against the Toronto Argonauts, as you talked about. So we'll see if they can do it again. They have had fourth quarter magic.
Jake Mayer is at his best when he doesn't have to think. And like
true.
A lot of quarterbacks, though.
Yeah.
So, like, when he just can sort of react, and when you're trailing by 12 points, you can just sort of run the offense, roll out, throw the ball, dink dunk. If something down the field is there, take it. Like I said, nice little dump off here right now, just turn into a 20-yard game. That's what I'm talking about. Calgary are actually at their best when they're just sort of looser. When they line up and he starts calling the plays and he's pointing at people and stuff, it's like, no. Like, don't think. They tell the best quarterbacks not to think, right? It's like, don't think. Just drop back, look at the guy, throw it. Like, just rhythm. It's almost like basketball, Ken. Basketball players aren't really thinking. It's like a muscle, like, pass. Everything is just
reflex.
a flow to it. They're not, anytime they start thinking, where am I going to pass it, the play slows down. The Stampeders get caught up in that sometimes. I like their little reverse they just ran here, but Ottawa stuffed it. Props to Ottawa. But it's a fun football game. I'm expecting this thing to get crazy here down the stretch. Major League Baseball is done for the night. How did you do on the diamond today?
Did pretty good, Gabe, actually. It was one of those situations where I hit a couple live bets, and baseball's been great. We talk about the dogs coming in, and things are going to get really interesting down the stretch here. Major League Baseball has been great. I wish the Blue Jays were playing again. I would have taken them again after the sweep, but they're off. They got the Cubs tomorrow at 2:20, early game on the board. Interesting series, too, with the Reds and Royals. That should be good. Good stuff. We got, really interested. The Mariners, Gabe, they got to take care of business. They're playing, Paul Skeens is up against Logan Gilbert tomorrow. That should be a good game tomorrow on the baseball card.
Yeah, the Seattle Mariners haven't had the best week in Detroit, and suddenly the National League West is getting interesting. And people have just sort of wrapped this division up, gift-wrapped it to the Los Angeles Dodgers, but Arizona and San Diego are not going away. Yet you look at the updated odds as we speak right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers are minus 500 to win the National League West still. They're getting healthier. And you know what? I don't have a problem with this. A lot of people on the outside, the Dodgers should be up by 12 or this and that. And the Dodgers are fine. Look at their record. The fact is Arizona's good. San Diego have a stacked roster. And I think the competition is actually great for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And, dude, the Dodgers, they've won the division 9 of the last 11 years, whatever the hell it is. They win a division all the time. In the edge of September, they never have an edge about them. They've always wrapped it up, and they get the 1 seed or the 2 seed, whatever the new format. They've been off for 5 days, and you got some hot team that's been, playing every day to get in the playoffs. They keep it rolling. You get punched in the mouth. I don't mind the Dodgers playing competitive baseball through the month of September, getting guys back, playing playoff-style baseball, as opposed to having to flick the switch like they often do. And it's not just the Dodgers. In past years, I'm going old school, Cam. Yeah. I remember when the Angels used to be good, the old Vladimir Guerrero days, or even before, Mike Scioscia and stuff, when it win World Series, they used to be up in a bad American League West by 18 games and 14 games and stuff. And Scioscia would say, man, it's really hard, to get these guys, you can't go hard every day in September, but at the same point in time, you can't turn it off. You're better off just playing hard all the way through.